Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today I want to talk about a new whale that's buying Shiba Inu for the long term. I also want to talk about the existing whale that's been moving around billions of dollars worth of tokens, and as usual, I want to give some AMC updates as well. So stay tuned and let's make some money. And now I want to dive straight in with the key information. So, a major crypto exchange's CEO is set on holding Shiba Inu crypto long term despite its recent tumble. And here's why. The trading volume of Shiba Inu recently surpassed that of Bitcoin for at least 3 consecutive days on KuCoin. Specifically, on October 28th, Shib's volume was almost 3 times that of Bitcoin, and the KuCoin CEO said they primarily target retail investors. Seeing Bitcoin's rise, some younger investors without a lot of money want to profit from crypto as well, but you'd need over $60,000 to buy one singular Bitcoin. So they turn to Dogecoin and Shiba Inu, where you can buy tons with just $100. These investors are very passionate about such tokens and are determined to push the prices higher. There was obviously the recent petition to get Shiba Inu listed on Robinhood, which received more than 490,000 signatures. Despite Shib's loss of around 30% over the past 7 days, the KuCoin CEO said he would hold the meme coin in the long term, along with Bitcoin and Dogecoin. He said Bitcoin can be seen as a hedge against inflation, while the dog-themed coins represent power of the community. Over the past year or two, the retail investor has become so much more of a driving force in market economy, and therefore having a coin that represents the community is only a good thing and will only get more and more popular as time goes by. As time goes by, more and more retail investors are going to come to the space, not only in the stock market, but in the crypto market as well. And they are going to be buying coins like Shiba Inu and Dogecoin, pushing those prices higher. I think one of the key differences between Dogecoin and Shiba Inu is that the supply of Dogecoin is ever increasing, whereas the supply of Shiba Inu is ever dwindling. Therefore, Shiba Inu is the more attractive investment for a new crypto investor. The CEO of KuCoin has obviously realised this as well, and that's why Shiba Inu is one of his top holds for the future. Now I also want to talk about the speculation around the large whale holding Shiba Inu that's been making a number of transfers to different wallets over the last few days. It says the canine themed token has logged losses for 3 consecutive days after a Shib whale made a move on their holdings of 40 trillion Shib, which was worth roughly $2.8 billion at the time. The move triggered speculation on where the Shib trillions would end up. At the time of this publication, the whale had relocated the Shib to 4 addresses where the tokens remain. According to Etherscan, there was no other indication that the Shib whale was moving the tokens to the open market. Clearly the Shib whale is just trying to increase his privacy and his security, and is diversifying his holdings into multiple different wallets. Just in case one specific wallet gets hacked, at least he's spread his crypto or his Shib in a number of different wallets. It's clear that he doesn't have any intention of selling any of his Shib yet, because he does see the Shiba Inu coin going much, much higher. While the Shib whale's motivation for moving the tokens is unclear, the market reacted strongly. Shib's price has been dropping since then. On this chart here, purple reflects the trading volume, whereas this green line here reflects the price. As we can see, there was a lot of volume on Shib's first run-up, and also on Shib's most recent run-up as well. There's also been quite a lot of volume here on Shib's fall, but obviously this is mostly paper handlers that aren't holding Shib for the long term, selling off their positions. Maybe they made some gains, maybe they made some losses. Either way, they've sold off their coins and they aren't going to be causing a problem in the future when Shib next runs up. According to Sentiment, a spike in a token's deposit addresses to centralized exchanges may indicate a rise in short-term selling pressure. So only short-term selling pressure and not long-term pressure. And I think this part here is really important as well. Sentiment's data also shows that more than one Shib whale has moved their Shib holdings. Shib transactions worth at least $1,000 also started increasing on Wednesday. And this is basically signalling that a lot of whales are making new Shiba Inu transactions and purchases in sizes of over $100,000 per trade. So potentially a lot of new whales are getting on board. I'll be sure to keep you updated on Shiba Inu as time goes by on how the listing on Robinhood is coming along. Now currently, most people don't have a lot of confidence in the stock market. These institutions and market makers get all of these exemptions, there's a massive lack of reporting, and it basically seems like all of the normal laws and regulations just don't apply to them. But when investing in cryptocurrency like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Shiba Inu, or many others, it's much more of an even playing field. And that's why I personally use BlockFi to invest in cryptocurrency. Not only can you just buy some Bitcoin, but you can also earn interest on your deposits up to 9.5% per year, also paid in Bitcoin, so you can just continue accumulating more and more Bitcoin or more and more cryptocurrency. And if you sign up to BlockFi and deposit at least $100 using my link in the description below, you can currently get a bonus of up to $250 of Bitcoin entirely for free. BlockFi also have a rewards credit card with an introductory rate of 3.5% cashback on your purchases, also paid in cryptocurrency, so you can just earn more and more and more Bitcoin. There's also no annual fee, but unfortunately the credit card's only available in the US at the moment and not in the UK. And when you've generated a massive profit on your investment, instead of having to sell off your Bitcoin or your Shiba Inu or any other cryptocurrency and potentially missing out on the next run up, you can just take out a crypto-backed loan with BlockFi, and therefore you don't have to sell any of your crypto, but you can still get cash. But now let's talk about AMC, and I wanted to give you an update on one of my videos the other day where I spoke about the volume on AMC being wrong. As you can see, Wired sent me a tweet saying, do you need help finding the missing volume? Because Wired thinks that he's just found it. There's a screenshot here that reads, any other off-exchange transactions between broker-dealers and their counterparties that do not belong to the aforementioned activities can simply be classified as OTC. Such transactions include ad hoc, large or irregular transactions between broker-dealers and other counterparties, seeking to execute client order flow in the most efficient manner possible. So basically this is like Robinhood routing their transactions to Citadel through the dark pool that could be considered ad hoc, large or irregular. Broker-dealers conducting such OTC transactions may use their own inventory to meet their clients' specific needs and then lay off their risk exposure in subsequent trades with other counterparties. Many OTC transactions represent technical trades that are non-price forming. Such trades do not represent real or addressable liquidity and thus are reported with a special identifier that excludes them from official volume figures. And therefore, clearly Citadel are just marking many more transactions or many more grouped transactions as OTC, and therefore not reporting any of these trades as real actual volume. An example is a guaranteed volume-weighted average price or VWAP trade-in, which the executing broker undertakes a series of transactions on the open market and then flips the shares back to the customer at the guaranteed price. Only the original open market transactions are included in the public consolidated tape information. So basically that's what's been happening to the volume as of late. So many more transactions are basically being marked as OTC and not reported in the official volume figures. I also wanted to touch on and talk about some of the key catalysts coming up over the next week or two. Hedge funds are trapped, and it's now known that Ken Griffin lied. We've also got the Fed starting their tapering. We've also got NSCC 010 still being slated to go into effect next week. We've also got AMC's earnings report coming out on Monday with stellar numbers. And we've also got that it's confirmed by Gasparino that multiple hedge funds or market makers are being reviewed for liquidation, and the list goes on. And on top of this, I spoke the other day about how Marc Cohodes has just bought 50,000 shares of AMC, and I think he knows something we don't. So Marc Cohodes is named one of the smartest short sellers of all time. Typically, he only goes short on a company, and therefore it's very unusual for him to buy shares of AMC and go long. And this poster says it sure sounds like he knows something the rest of us don't. And with his background, I'm sure he's lucky enough to come across privileged information, which I believe he now has concerning AMC. Somebody actually tweeted asking him pretty much that exact question. They said, I like it, but why all the sudden interest in AMC? Did somebody make you really angry? Somebody replies saying, rightfully so. It also wouldn't surprise me if he knew something we didn't. And Marc Cohodes replied saying, you think? I think Marc Cohodes is hinting that he knows something most of the apes don't. And that's why he's gone long on AMC in such a big way with 50,000 shares, which is over $1 million worth of AMC. I also wanted to do a bit of a recap on the cycle theory and see if we're still following that same cycle and those same fractals. As you can see, we have the January to June run-up overlaid on the current time frame, and so far we are still mirroring it perfectly. Yes, obviously towards the end of last week, we did have a few days moving downwards before that pop back upwards on Friday. But if we look at the January to June run up, the exact same thing happened in May. I think we could potentially push through this $45 area of resistance next week before falling back down again towards the $40 area and then blasting off to a new high. Again, if you also look at it on a weekly basis, we are still doing very, very well. These few green bars here mirror this same green bar from January. The same red bar here is reflected here towards the end of June. We've then also got these 3 green bars up and 3 red bars down, very similar to these 2 green bars up and 2 red bars down here back in March. And it looks so far like this week has just repeated this big green candle here at the start of May. So maybe next week is going to be a red candle before the 3rd week of November being the blast off. Now I also wanted to talk about some interesting option chain updates for Gamestop. Gamestop strike prices added for December the 17th of $470 to $510, which basically means you can now buy $510 call options for Gamestop. This is obviously because the stock price has been moving up recently, and obviously the market makers deem that there is a market for much higher priced call options. Clearly those market makers are also seeing this additional volatility and believe that GameStop could be going much, much higher. And obviously if GameStop goes higher, AMC is going to be going higher as well. Now this doesn't necessarily mean that on Monday you should all jump into options that expire on Friday, because I think that's just basically a way to give more money to the hedgies, which we don't want to do. I do still believe the best way is to buy shares in AMC or GameStop. You could also take out longer priced options such as January or February options, because then at least that way you're not putting all of your money in a basket of options that expires in 5 days time, because obviously the squeeze is never guaranteed, and I don't like giving specific dates and saying it's guaranteed to happen this week or next week or the week after, because at the end of the day no one really knows when it's going to happen, just that it is going to happen. Guys, be sure to let me know down in the comments below what you think about this new whale buying Shiba Inu to hold for the long term. And as always guys, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to check out some of my others. Alternatively, subscribe to the channel and ding that notification bell, because that way you'll be alerted when I upload a new video. Cheers.